Welcome everybody to another video, and in this video I'm going to be starting up a new series. This new series is going to be called Cop or Drop. In this series I'm going to be giving you guys in the moment active trade advice and basically tell you guys what items you should get and what items you should stay away from. This series will be useful for any traders and will help guide you on what items you should be trading for, but let's go ahead and get right into the video. So first we are going to be going over the items that you should drop, and starting off with these smaller traders. A lot of you guys have like a bunch of smalls like this, and my advice is going to be upgrade these smalls and get rid of them. Like, a lot of these smalls are not going to go anywhere, they're not going to get you any profit, no one overpays on a Gucci. So my advice is if you have multiple of these, upgrade them into a bigger item, get like a 2k item, 3k item, something like that, but upgrade your items and get items that have a potential to get an overpay, so at least you have some potential to make some profit. Second is going to be the green, purple, and blue wistful winks. Now all three of these winks have been doing bad recently. The value's been going down a bunch, and they have the lowering trend now, and the sales have been going down as well. Now if you look at the value, as you can see, it's just been going down recently, so these items are definitely not reliable. I would keep them out of your inventory, and if you have some, I would trade them off. Next up is the Otterite antlers. Now recently this item hasn't been doing the best, currently has the unstable trend. Although the demand is high, that does kind of support it a little bit. It's a decent item, so the demand is kind of helping it, but the value has been going down. It went from 24k all the way down to 20k now, and is now unstable. The sales are kind of going down as well. I wouldn't really want to have this in my inventory, so I'd kind of trade it off, but it is better than the wistful winks. The next items are the pink, purple, and teal mermaid queens. Now the teal one hasn't been doing too bad. It does have a stable trend and hasn't lowered any, but I do think it's still kind of unreliable. It does have a low premium copies though, so it's decent, but I would just kind of stay away from it because you never know what might happen. On the other side, the pink and purple mermaids have been doing bad. They both have the lowering trend. Now the purple one hasn't dropped that much, I've only dropped once, but the pink one have dropped a bunch. It went from 38k all the way down to 26k, and I would definitely stay away from especially the pink one, but I would not have any of these in your inventory. They're just not really safe to have, and I would definitely get rid of them. Up next is the Supa and Dupa fly caps. Both of these have been performing really bad recently. They both have the lowering trend, and the values have just tanked. Like, the Supa Dupa went from 50k all the way down to now 32k and still dropping, and the Supa has gone from 50k all the way down to 38k, so definitely stay away from these items. They may be one of the worst here. The next two items are the Tentacles Junior and the Miss Tentacles. Now both of these have not been doing the best recently, and they are new limiteds, so with a new limited comes kind of an unstable item. That seems to be how the trends have been. So the value of the Miss Tentacles is just kind of going down slowly over time. It was first at 65k, and now it is all the way down to 45k, and it currently has the lowering trend, so I would kind of stay away from Miss Tentacles. It may regain hype later on, but for now definitely stay away from it. And the Tentacles Junior, it's got the unstable tag, and the value also, it kind of went up first and then it went down after the hype died, and yeah, from there it's just not been the best, but I would just stay away from both of these. The next items to stay away from are kind of classified in a group. They kind of fit under the Barbie and emo item category, so that includes like the Pretty Princess, the alpaca, and the kawaii. All of these items kind of did really good at first. They had that hype, but now they just kind of died off and they haven't been doing the best. The kawaii has dropped 5k, so it's dropped once, and it has the unstable trend, so it looks like it might drop again soon as well according to proofs. Now the alpaca is kind of the same. It had that hype and then it kind of has died out since. This one has died out a lot more than the others though, so it's definitely doing really bad. Unstable trend as well. And the Pretty Princess, it hasn't dropped yet, but it does look like it might soon. It kind of had that hype at first and died out, and also has the unstable trend. So I mean, these items aren't the worst, but I would just kind of stay away from them. Up next is the Valk, the Ice Valk, and the Classic Fedora. Now all three of these have become unstable and kind of dropped recently. The Classic Fedora went from 290 down to 260, the Ice Valk went from 270 down to 250, and the Valkyrie helm went from 240 down to 210. Now all of these have kind of gone down recently, and if you look here at the past year, it kind of went up around this time, and also right here it went up around this time, and then right here it went up around this time, and then it went up around this time. So as you can see, it's kind of that like double arch, you know, like an M, and right here we're seeing that exact same pattern. So basically we're at like this point at, you know, the same time. So what we're gonna see next is this down arrow like that, so that's kind of what to expect. and that is kind of why you want to drop these items, is because when deflation hits, that is exactly what's going to happen to these items. And the final items to drop are going to be the new limiteds. Now, not all the new limiteds have been bad, some of them have gotten valued, but I would kind of stay away from the items that have not gotten valued yet, such as the scariest hood, the frozen dragon soul hood, the big purple banded top hat, and the ultimate roll bling. Items like this have not been valued, and they've just been selling underneath their wrap, and over time they've just kind of been decaying and going down, such as that, and that as well. They don't have any value and nothing to support them. Although they did just come out, I think they're going to do bad at first. They might do better later on, we will see, but for now definitely stay away from these as they are dropping. Now moving on to the items that you should cop or get, and starting off with the smaller items. So Roblox has made a lot of items go limited, and specifically these smaller items like the ultimate victory, the rainbow pixels bandana, the shoulder shark hat, and the broken TV have all became like new smalls, and there's quite a few of them, mainly the on sale items, and these things actually don't look too bad, and they're definitely a lot better looking than like the Gucci's and the Ralph Laurens and stuff, mainly the event items. So what you could do is trade your small event items for items like this. These items look a lot more cool than like the Gucci's and stuff, and they would definitely look a lot better in trades. Now there is one thing with this, you kind of want to make sure that you're actually not losing any recent average price, because sometimes the Gucci's can actually be more than these. These are only like 500 to 600 normally, and there are some Gucci's that are like 700, 800, and even 1k. So you kind of want to be careful with that and just make sure that you're still profiting, because it could go the opposite way as well. If you have an item like this, you could trade for like a more expensive Gucci, one that's like normally like 900, so you can make a little bit of profit. And if you're wanting to upgrade into a bigger item, let's say like a 3k item or a 2k item, you could basically trade one of these. Let's say that this item here is like 500, trade it for a Gucci that's normally like 800, and that's 300 more value they can put in a trade to upgrade into an item. Now these next two items I wouldn't necessarily go after, but they are finally stable. The legit in space hair are finally stable, they have the stable trend, and they are finally not dropping. For a long time there, these things were really bad. They were dropping down in a lot of value, but they're finally stable. And I mean, there was only so much that these things could drop, but they are finally stable. They don't really lowball anymore in proofs. So if you do want a nice upgrade, the legit and the space hair could be an easy upgrade, and you could probably still find an owner who would lowball them, but this could be a very nice item to get profit off of. You could like lowball for it, and then you could get an overpay after, so make some profit that way. Now my advice to you guys is if you have any items underneath 100k, I would definitely focus on upgrading those. Like for example, here's my inventory. Basically anything I have that is underneath 100k is basically not going to go anywhere. Like I know this thing's not going to really go anywhere. The playful vampire, I don't really see it going anywhere. Madness, not really, but like none of these items are really going to go anywhere. Like your standard demand items, they're not really going to go up, and eventually when deflation hits, these things are just going to go down. So you might as well just upgrade into things that are above 100k that are going to raise now, so then you can get some profit in the meantime. But yeah, there's no point in really having any of these items because they're not really going to go anywhere. You might as well just upgrade and get some items that are raising. Now if you don't have that much value and you have like underneath 50k, if you're trying to avoid the items that are dropping and keep some stable nice items, I would recommend the blue steel bat helm, the monarch butterfly smile, the purple butterfly smile, the skull bandit, the ice skull of the nethermore. All of these items are some stable items that you could trade for, and they give some decent overpays. Not too much demand behind them, but they would be some nice stable items that you could keep in your inventory, and most likely get more than you gave once you traded for them. The rest of the items are going to be over 100k, items that I would recommend upgrading into. Now this is going to refer to what I said earlier about upgrading all the small items underneath 100k, because they're not going to go anywhere. So these are items that I would recommend upgrading into, and starting off with the gold king of the night, and following that is the autorite king of the night. Both of these have actually been doing good recently. The autorite king and the gold king have been raising recently. They've been going up from 100k all the way now to 115k, and they get some decent overpays now. So if you want a nice small upgrade, I would go for one of these. Next up is going to be the bucket series, starting off with the Doom bucket. Following is the red bucket of cheer, and the final one is going to be the black iron bucket. All of these kind of range in value. The black iron bucket is 200k, the red bucket of cheer is 145, and the doom bucket is 125. So kind of based off of what items you have, you could upgrade into different buckets. Now all of these get like really nice overpays, I believe like 20 to 30k or more, and these are just nice items that will raise over time, and now is a good time to get them. The next item is the Soviet ushanka. Now this item has been doing really good recently. It currently has the raising trend, and also has been going up a bunch recently. It's gone all the way from 110 all the way up to 190, so it's gone up 80k in like the past couple months, which is crazy. And I was lucky enough to get myself one of these recently before the raise, and I definitely see this thing raising even more with the raising tag. Next up is the prankster face. Now this item has been doing pretty good recently, getting some nice overpays. Now it is stable right now and is raising right now, but I do think it's gonna raise soon, so that's why I would get it now. But one thing I will say is the CFs and the valks have not been doing good recently, which this item kind of fits in that same area. It usually does good and bad like the same time as the other ones, so I would kind of be careful with this item. It could turn bad really quick just like the other ones did, so I don't know, it's a good upgrade right now, but maybe later it will not be. And finally, the items I would cop would be the WC and the CW headphones. Now all these headphones have been doing really good recently, all getting really nice overpays, and right now if you overpaid for one of these, I feel like you could definitely profit. It might be kind of a more long-term investment or kind of like a medium-term investment, but I feel like if you overpaid for one of these and kind of waited a little bit for it to either raise or get a better offer, you could definitely make some profit off of these. So that is the end of the first cap or drop video, and I'm very curious to see what you guys thought of it. I do think this series will be a lot of help to you guys, give you guys like in-time advice on what items to trade for and what items to avoid, and hopefully I do help you guys. But that's going to be it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.